Southern California. As regards our capital projects, you will see from the MTA a lot of interest in the highway program. That's very important. We have a $1 billion project out on the 405. There'll be future projects on the 710, the I-5, both in the South County and up in North County. Other projects related to goods movement, freight, rail cars, containers, and the like. I think that obviously highways are a very important part of our overall system. At the same time, we want to move a number of rail projects. We have a couple which are underway right now. As you know, one is the Gold Line extension to the east, and the Expo line. I've heard there might be a question about when the east side extension will open. I would expect it will open sometime in November. We've made great progress on it in the past few weeks. By the way, the contractual deadline for opening that in the grant contract with the Congress, with the federal government, is December 31. So we'll have that line opened ahead of schedule. So I'm looking forward to that. I was out there looking at it today, as a matter of fact, and you know, I don't know if you know, but we did a rail safety peer review about a month ago. We're going to be distributing that to the board. We'll be going back and retrofitting certain safety enhancements on that line to make sure that it's not just meets the requirements of the PUC and others, but that it does everything we possibly can to make sure that line is safe and ready to go. As Measure R provides for, there's a big project coming up in the future, an extension of the Pasadena Gold Line, the Foothill extension. We're looking forward to working with the San Gabriel Valley on that. There's a large amount of money dedicated to that. So I hope we can get that done. I'm confident that we will. We'll be working on the so-called downtown connector in Los Angeles. Do you know what that is, the regional connector? Are you aware of what that is? That's an important project.
Right. He doesn't know. He never did a PowerPoint on it ever.
You know, with that connector, two important things happen. One is that you can go from Pasadena directly to the Coliseum to CSC beat UCLA, or you can go from the west side directly to the Rose Bowl and see SC win the Rose Bowl. So, you know, there is a plan here well in place that will deliver major benefit to LA County. The West Side Subway is a very large and very important project. We'll be asking the board to approve in a couple of days, moving forward with federal grant request, New Start funding for the regional connector and for the subway. The subway is more expensive, but especially in these second and third segments, it moves through areas much more dense in terms of population and jobs creation. The downtown connector obviously moves through downtown already accessed by the Red Line subway, but it also improves connectivity between the San Gabriel Valley, the east side, and Long Beach and the west side of Los Angeles. So there's important benefit to both of those projects. I really am hopeful that the board approves that approach to a federal grant for rail funding. As we stand here right now, actually as you sit here and as I stand here right now, we do not have there is no Los Angeles project in a federal pipeline. None. We're going to get the last payment on the East Side extension shortly. At that point, Los Angeles stands alone among the major cities within the country that don't have an active New Start program. Given that we are well positioned, having passed Measure R, in the middle of a recession, we are well positioned to compete for federal funds for these projects I've just mentioned. So I hope that the board will approve that. In addition to the West Side subway extension, we also have the extension of the Expo line. That's a little bit further out, very important. That'll connect us to Culver City and the points out there, as well as the Crenshaw line. We don't know what Crenshaw is right now. It's in Measure R, but the technology is not specified. So we're doing some environmental work right now. I would expect that we would have some definition, decision by the board in the coming couple of months as to what that project will be, whether a BRT line or a light rail line. So with that, what my goal will be is to make the MTA an employer of choice in the United States. We have money to do projects. We're in Los Angeles, the best place in the country to work. We have Measure R to match federal funds. So what I want to do is to create alignment between the board and the staff create an atmosphere of achievement and even risk tolerance, so that our employees can do their very best. Mistakes happen, errors happen. When that occurs, we have to understand that the only way you can be a great organization is to be tolerant of people making less mistakes as they occur. We need to allow people to strive to be great at the MTA, and I hope we can achieve that. We will be doing all the other things that MTA does as well, bike paths. Obviously, we have the Freeway Service Patrol, other projects that we do around the county. So I look forward to working on all of those. With that, let me just say, I think that we will look forward to working with the west side and the San Gabriel Valley and the southeast LA County cities and San Fernando to create a county-wide coalition. I also look forward to working with Orange County and Riverside and San Bernardino and Ventura. That's important because of Metrolink and because of goods movement and because of the low sand corridor. A very great, and that's a wonderful corridor from San Diego and San Luis Obispo. That's a very low risk investment for those of you who've ridden it and you know that. The I-5 is constrained, so in the context of population growth, the increased demand for transportation, the low sand corridor is well positioned. And part of that will be the potential for a high-speed rail project, which has been approved by the Obama administration, as well as the Borders of California in the November election. The Los Angeles to Anaheim segment of the high-speed rail project is very well positioned for federal funding, frankly, because Orange County offered about $7 million 2 or 3 years ago to pay for the environmental work. So that segment is well ahead of other segments around the country to compete for federal funding. That's a large project, and it offers great potential to get a high-speed rail application started. Orange County has been very active in the last couple of years. As of the last month or two, LA County is much more active as well. We want to work with the High-Speed Rail Authority, but also with the host cities to make sure that the project is acceptable and that the design features and other aspects of it are done in accordance with what is desired by the host cities. So, with that, I will wrap up. I do want to, before I stop, I want to ask the people who were students, whoever are they? Who were the students? So where do you go to school?
Cal State Fullerton.
Okay.
San Juan.
San Marcos, good.
Wendell Community College.
Good. Well, you've got to finish college. It's partly about, education is partly about making more money, which is not a bad thing. It's partly about quality of life, which is not a bad thing. But it's also partly about power. In capitalism, if you have, in a market economy, if you have nothing to sell, life is real tough. Someone will tell you how to mop the floor. So if that's okay with you, then you can do that. But you're a lot better off if you get an education and gain power in the marketplace. So I hope you stay. I'm just glad that none of you are going to UCLA.
It's okay. You should ask Bradley what his career goal is, though.
What is it? Well, it's going to be open.
Can I just ask one question?
Well, listen, someday come down to the MTA, make an appointment, come down, you spend the day with me. Okay, during a board meeting or something, or committee days. I'm not
No, that will keep him from ever going.
You want him to meet John Walsh?
You want to torture the guy?
Sure.
You want to
Yeah, he thinks he wants to be an executive. We'll show him. Whenever someone says that to me, I will help you get a job. And when you're in a career, jobs seem permanent, but they never are. Everything is temporary. And so at Orange County and at MTA, we're going to do everything we can to build young people to move into higher level positions later on. When I speak to groups where they have people who've gone to UCLA, I really offer them encouragement as well. I really offer a hopeful prayer. Anybody here go to UCLA?
What's the only undefeated
It's
team
a
in
hopeful-
town right now?
3 games. Hopeful prayer to help Bruins, including the LA Times. Yes, you've done a bad thing, but don't give up on yourself. It doesn't make you a bad person, necessarily. So, anyway, any questions? I'd be happy to try to discuss
No, I'm
with you.
going to start off with
Yeah,
the first
please.
question, because that way we can have sort of the first and the last question.
All right.
The one question, in our newsletter, we give you some light reading material for the train ride home tonight. One of the concerns we have is with the new